Hi guys, we love you. Chris Watts. When he was removed from Colorado, they had spent $12,600, and it states to remove the killer from the state and to take him to Wisconsin. The Colorado Department of Corrections say they spent $12,600 of taxpayers' money to remove the killer, Chris Watts, out of the state, according to the report. And Chris is currently in Wisconsin, in Waupun. The Corrections Department have spent $7,061.25 in transport staff and $1,092 I guess per person, and $2,425 on hotels and extras, which is $2,000 something odd dollars for the transport. Well, they sure did spend a lot of money, didn't they? Because they had to fly him, they had to have staff, and then, of course, when they got to Madison, they say they flew into Madison and then drove from there up to the Fond du Lac area and to Waupun. To Dodge Correctional Institution. And this Dodge Correctional is known for notorious serial killers. Oh yes, notorious serial killers. So don't they have notorious serial killers in Colorado? And they call him a serial killer. And not in the sense of like some serial killers. I don't think he's a serial killer as such. He's a killer, yes, he killed 3 people. But as in serial killer. But anyway, and another thing is, it seems like the cost of housing Chris Watts is going to be paid by Wisconsin taxpayers. Oh yeah, us tax-paying people will now have to pay for him. Don't sound right, does it? Come to another state and us taxpayers gotta foot the bill. Well, I'm sure they did an exchange prisoner because, we can't keep taking in all these prisoners from out of state because they're not safe in their prisons. But I'm sure Wisconsin transports a lot of their prisoners out of state too. So I guess this program they have going works. Because we sure do get a lot of out of state killers that come to our prisons. But up there in Waupun, in that area where those prisons are, it ain't no joke. These prisoners are the worst of the worst. And he's got to toughen up. Well, the rumor is out there that he kind of has toughened up. He has, unless he's just going along. He's listening, he's watching the prisoners, see how they act. It's a sink or swim, isn't it? It's going to be a sink or swim. But I'm not sure which prison that he he is in at this time, because he can't stay at Dodge. He can't stay there. That's just like a hold-in for, evaluations and stuff like that. He is a high profile, and he's killed 3 people. So he won't be staying there. And, people reporting what he's having to eat, like, all this junk food and sweets, like brownies and stuff. And he doesn't refuse a meal. He eats well. He's got money on his on his account, that he's got enough money on there just to get some little things. I guess he doesn't have to start paying anything back yet, because the wrongful suit death has not gone through yet. So when that happens, his little money box will be withering away. I don't think there's any more updates really on him, other than, his works truck went up for auction, and it was listed as, normal wear and tear and hail damage. But apparently it did not list 3 dead bodies were transported in this truck. Yeah. Well, I don't think they need to list that. If they did it, I think it sure would have been on there. And his house goes up for auction in April at some time. And, as we know, I think the bank owns it now. But you know what? The bank don't care about how much money they get for that house. The bank really don't care. It's going up for auction to the highest bidder. Now, they might get more money for that house than they would just selling it, without an auction, a buyer. But you know what? Somebody's going to buy that house for whatever reason. But there's going to be stipulations on it, like, if you buy this house, you cannot have people coming in to visit the home. Do you know what I mean? And pay you to come into the house and take a look at this home where 3 people were murdered. I mean, that's not going to happen. Because, this is a respectable neighborhood and they do not want that traffic. So that's not going to happen. So I just don't know who's going to buy this home. And would you buy a home where you knew 3 people had been killed? It's not like it was I say savage murder, like, just say like, Jodi Arias case, where he was really brutally murdered. I mean, blood everywhere, So I think that house will be okay. I think so. There's many homes where murders have happened. This is not the first home to have somebody murdered in. So, frankly, I wouldn't buy that place for how much it is. I mean, look how close you are to the neighbors. I mean, $400 home, and look, you're right next to your neighbors. If I had $400, that certainly wouldn't be a home I'd be buying. Just saying, that is. And I don't think there's anything else to report on that, other than we've heard on some other channels that and elsewhere that Chris Watts, ex-girlfriend from a long time ago, was speaking on a few channels, and they certainly don't believe. Not everybody believes it's her. Some say her voice is different from one speaking on one channel to another. It could be her. We don't know. Why is she speaking now? We don't know why she's speaking out. Some say it's his sister speaking out, but I don't know what she sounds like because I've never heard her voice. But they're saying it could be Jamie, his sister. I don't know if she would do that. She kept out of the she kept herself out of the picture from the beginning. She never showed up to no court hearings. She never showed up to his sentencing. And she probably is not going to visit her brother. They got a funny relationship in that family. I don't even know how close he was to his sister. I never heard his sister mentioned, like Shanann mentioned, hey, his mother and father are coming to babysit and we're off to, the Thrive gig, We never heard Shanann saying his sister's coming and her husband's coming and the children's coming. We never heard that very much. We know that her parents and brother came and lived there at some point, but we never heard about the sister. And we never heard about, hey, I'm going to visit my sister-in-law. I don't know. The whole thing's weird, if you ask me. But, weirder things have happened in a family. So that's about it. That is about it. On the Chris Watts updates, this costs a lot of money to transport this man to Wisconsin in the middle of the night. Secret, top secret, and now, like with Patrick Frazee, if he gets sentenced and he gets found guilty, this is a high-profile case too, but it's different, isn't it? Because we can't find the body. We don't know how she was murdered yet, exactly. And was she shot? I doubted she was shot, but was she chopped up? Something gruesome. We don't know that yet. Was she burnt, put in the pit, and fed to the pigs? Something gruesome like that. We don't know how she disappeared. But you know what? If we do find out one day how she disappeared, he's not going to be a very liked man neither. He'll be just up there with Christopher Watts. And where is he going to go? What prison is he going to? I mean, I know we got to prove it first. They have to prove it. And that's all there is to it. And this Chris Watts home was bought for, the home they had in Colorado was bought for 2013 for $400,000. And now they estimate the value of the home $510,000, because prices go up, and then if you did a lot of work in there, it's got a nice kitchen and everything, and the upkeep was okay. I guess it just needs a good paint job, because that's not everybody's taste, but that ain't nothing. That might get a paint job before it's sold, or it might get sold as is. But that's how much that is worth. But as we know, 2015, they filed for bankruptcy. And they didn't even have that house very long, did they? 2 years? I don't know how they could have gone into debt so badly, but they did. But that things happen, don't they? Things happen. So that's a little update on him, not much. So guys, and this Trent Bolt, I mean, there's people out there that still really believe that, you know, he could have been messing around with him. You know, he could have been. But his story is... But you know what? With all this crap going around, you could believe anything. Because it's not just him. There's other women coming out there saying that they met him too. And he did have an account. But you know what? We don't know what to believe. But I wouldn't even care if he was. If he was, he was. You know, maybe he was gay. You know, maybe he really was. But I doubt it. But anyway, so I doubt if that story is very true. But it's very interesting, isn't it? It just puts a little fire into the pit, doesn't it? But all this shit is going to die down soon, and he's going to go away. So it should have just maybe died down a little bit already and been gone, because he's gone. And there's no way he's going to resurface again. He's going to be in Wisconsin. It sounds like he's going to be in Wisconsin serving the rest of his days. I mean, they did say it might be a temporary thing, but nah, I don't think so. I think he's, I don't know where they're going to put him. Once he moves prison and goes to those other prisons, like Columbia or somewhere, or wherever, yeah, that's when the problem's going to begin. Yeah. But, you know, that's his problem, isn't it? He got himself in there. And that's all there is to it. So, okay, guys. I'll see you next time, and thank you for stopping by.